Here's Annalisa's room. Well, what used to be her room. It used to be pink and red. Now it's this beautiful, I don't know what you would call it, sea foam. It's like a really light teal color. Really neutral and calming, relaxing, pretty. It's hard to show on the camera, but anyway. Current project in here right now, we are painting closet doors. We have two that are done right there, and then these are the last two. I have one coat of paint on them. They'll need a second coat on this side, and then we'll flip them over, and then we'll do the second or the two coats on the other side, and then install the handles and the rails, and then they'll get put onto closets. So here's the closet. Currently has all the track and everything, just needs doors. But after the closet doors are installed, this room is done. Check, check, check. And we can move on to the next room. So that's my project right now for the house. I'll show you what the rest of the project is for today. So I want to take you along on some of the things we're doing to get ready for spring, summer, our trip. Some of you know we're planning to travel the country to look for land, and so we're putting the house up for sale soon. Our garden needs work, so that's the other project I have going on. Okay, so I just came out the front door. This whole front porch needs to be cleaned, but the front yard garden needs some help. This is sort of like a little bit of a cottagey garden. Do you like my umbrella? I'm taking that with me. Sorry, you can't have it. There is actually a plant here that will grow back in the spring, and it fills up this whole space, so it looks really pretty. This is a old slug trap. So we need to come and pick up all the garbage, slug traps. This flowers, which is really pretty. We've got roses in here that will flower. These green things will shoot up flowers. So this will be really pretty in the spring. It just looks like crap right now because it's January. And then we do need to do something about the hoses. That needs to be taken care of. This rhododendron looks really pretty when it's flowered. We trimmed it actually, so it's kind of nice and rounded. And I've got lavender growing here, which I need to trim. It does flower in the spring, so I need to give it a bit of a haircut and tidy it up. Pull some of the weeds from here. So that'll be all tidied up. Sadly, Annalisa's little fairy garden will probably have to get tidied up too. I might put a pot there, or a couple of pots with some flowers or something, just to make it look nice. David built this fence here because the old fence was falling down, so that looks really nice. And then this, the garden. I've been trying not to show you. It looks terrible right now. But those of you who follow me, like on Facebook, have seen pictures when it's in its glory, and it's beautiful. So right now, it's sleeping, you guys. It's dormant. Don't judge it. All of this dead stuff needs to come out. Some of this stuff will come back. Like this is my lemon balm. I just need to trim it, and it's already starting to come back. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but see the green? That's the lemon balm coming back. So I need to take out the dead stuff to give it room. You can actually see it's really cold right now. You can see the frost line. Do you see the color difference? Right here. Frost, no frost. Because this has not, from here over, has not had sun all day. So it's still frozen. This stuff had some sun but has lost it since the sun has gone behind my garage. That big shadow right there is my garage. So we are working with what we have. This is my grape climbing the trellis here. We took out the trellis that died, that broke. It was too heavy. David's going to build a nice wooden one that looks really sturdy and appealing and ornamental. And then all these pots need to get cleaned out. One of these has, I believe it's this tall one, has some kind of lily in it from Tamara. Hi, Tamara. It'll come back, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't need to get dumped because it'll come back. But all these other dead plants like this sunflower here, it's long since past time for it to go. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to grab some gloves and a couple of buckets and just fill it with dead plant material, and it just goes in the compost. Oh, and David fixed up these are the golden raspberries, which are the best raspberries. I don't know if you can see. Oh, I've got paint on my hand. Never mind the paint. There's these little buds. Those are going to be beautiful golden raspberries soon. I'm going to ignore my neighbors. So what he did is he strung this with, instead of using like cotton twine, he used metal cord. I don't know what you call it. I don't know. It's not wire because it's woven. Whatever. He used that instead, and so it should be stronger. It's not going to break like this stuff. See how it broke? And he tied these so that they won't move. And it creates this nice open space in the middle, which raspberries prefer. That way they get all of the airflow and sunlight can go down in between there. See, we didn't know this last year. We're learning as we go. They weren't big enough last year to do this, I don't think. So, oops, I'm tripping over toys. My kids' toys. So now that we know how to trellis them properly, I mean, we got so many last year. We're probably going to get even more this year, as long as I keep them fed and mulched. Well, okay, I should correct myself. The new owners will probably get all of those because we will probably, hopefully, be gone by the time they're really in fruit. So, alright, so I'm going to put the camera down, get as much of this cleaned up as I can before I run out of steam or it gets too cold. out very well on camera because they're just like sticks. But I need to pull them all up from here. My bucket is getting pretty full. That's a good sign, right? So here's a pepper. Pull that out. See? Oops. Ta-da. Here's another one. Just pulling these up. Shaking off the soil. Putting it in my bucket. That's what we do. Now in some places in the country, it's too cold to even do that because the ground is frozen. It's not that cold here in the Pacific Northwest. It is pretty cold though. I think the high today was 40, so it's probably less than that now because the sun's going down a little bit. I know you can't see that. The sun is going behind the building slightly. This is an old Mexican sunflower, which is so pretty. I already saved a bunch of these seeds, so I don't need them. In fact, most of these are probably gone because there have been birds out here. In fact, that sunflower I took down over there was just empty. There was nothing left. So I don't feel bad taking it out because there's nothing for the birds left on these particular plants because the sunflowers, you know, they go fast. They are still eating stuff out of the ground, so I'm, you know, let them do that. But this is just dry and dead. All of this stuff I will give to the chickens, and they'll eat what they can out of it. The rest will just compost, just like the wood chips do. It'll act like straw, kind of. And there is some grass and stuff in here that I pulled up, so they'll eat that too, and the weeds. So for now, we're just going to stuff it in our bucket. Get as much in there as I can to save trips. And I'm going to keep going. Hard to see, but there's an airplane there. Bye, airplane. Very loud. Okay. My bucket is very full, so I'm going to go empty it and then keep going. I got this bed mostly cleaned up. There is some trash in there, like twine and some old ties on the trellis, some plant markers. I'm going to clean all that up later. Right now I just want to get the plant material out, and then I will clean up that. I'm also not really focusing on weeds. There's a few weeds in there, but I'm not that worried about them right now. We'll come back and get those later. Next, I want to cut back this yarrow, the dead stuff. It's actually really pretty, even when it's dead. It looks sort of, I don't know, old-fashioned, especially in the sun. Whew. Golden hour has begun, you guys. But I am going to cut it, feed it to the chickens. They probably won't eat it. It'll just compost. You can see down here the new growth already starting. Even though it's like the end of January, it's already starting. So I'm going to make sure that it has room to keep growing. So I got to take out all this dead stuff. I have the same yarrow over here, which is the same process. I'm just going to take out all this dead material, dried up stuff. And you can see the green at the bottom. That's new yarrow coming. So we're going to pull that up. I've got like, I think that's a Brussels sprout. I'm not sure. And some dead cabbages. The Brussels sprouts didn't do very well. I've struggled with Brussels sprouts. I don't have the patience, I guess. I don't know. More dead sunflowers that also need to come out. They're all just empty. There's no seeds left in them. The birds have just gone to town. Sorry, my camera won't focus. There's nothing left in there. So I don't feel bad taking them out because the birds have gotten their fill. They're fully, completely consumed. This red raspberry needs to get trimmed up. That's next on David's list. I've given him the job of the berries and the trees, and I do the flowers and vegetables. There's only so much room in my brain. I can't remember all the things for all the things. So I've asked David to kind of educate himself on the trees and the grapes, the grapevines, and the raspberries and things, so that he can take care of pruning those all at the same time, instead of me trying to do a little bit and him doing a little bit. He can handle the pruning, and I'll handle the propagating in the garden and the fertilizing and all that stuff that I do anyway. So he does those things, and it's worked out really well. It's a division of labor. We both thrive because it's something he likes. The bigger projects, the cutting of the tree limbs and the building the trellis that he's going to do for my grapes over here. All that stuff is right up his alley, so it plays to our strengths. And if you're going to have a helper, a partner, whatever, in a project like this, it's good to give them a job that plays to their hobbies and interests, their strengths, their knowledge, skills, all that stuff. So that's what we're trying to do. So I dumped my bucket right here, and all the chickens come running. I had to go back in the house to get my camera, and they've already half destroyed the pile here, the bucket-shaped pile. How's it going, chickens? This is Belina, the white one here. She was sick earlier in the year, and we didn't think she'd make it, but she's all better now, all big and fluffy. So this is what I do with my garden things. Go straight to the chickens. Tear it up there, Miss Mercy. That's Mercy right there, the gray one. Mercy, would you like a close-up? She's my skinniest chicken, and she lays the fattest eggs, which I think is hilarious. This is Big Mama. Hey, Big Mama. She lives up to her name. She's pretty big. And there's Penny over here. So I have a friend staying with us, and she has a bunch of silkies and bantams, and they're a lot smaller than my chickens. There's a couple roosters too. That one over there looks like a bald eagle or a Muppet, or maybe a Muppet bald eagle. But they're a lot of fun. They get along. They hang out together. He's so fluffy. He looked like he wearing a fur coat. Hi. Hello, little one. Would you like a close-up? She's like, nope, never mind. Over here. A couple more eating. And there's Betty. Hi, Betty. How's it going, Betty? She's got her big fur winter coat on. She's so fluffy. Are you fluffy? Gosh, everything in here was so muddy and gross. We had extra straw and hay. So we put the hay here under cover. I have this canopy. Sorry, I'm trying to back up, but I'm up against the fence. We have this canopy to give them some more dry space. And we put the hay there because they'll eat it. They'll scratch at it and eat it, just like grass. See them eating. And we put the straw over there because it'll help soak up some of the mud. Eventually all this stuff will get raked aside and we'll harvest the compost underneath it. But for now we're just trying to keep them dry and clean. Clean and dry, right? That's the goal anyway. I just thought you'd like to see what I do with my garden scraps. The chickens love it. Oh, and there's my dog. Hi, my dog. After something. Squirrel, cat, something.